Hey guys, good to meet you. And it's a very beautiful evening out here today. So, I'll be talking about a lot of things. And fundamentally, let's start by looking at what is GPUNet doing. So, we have come a long way, been almost 3 years since we started in 2022. And today we have our blockchain, our DApp, our subnets, our Quest, and we have a trading layer which is coming on top, which is the GVEX. Currently, we are gearing up for our roadmap in 2026. Last year we had just 2 products. Now we have 6. Team size has grown. And recently we were at Super AI where we got exposure to more than 3,000 very good AI companies out there. I think it's one of the biggest AI events on the planet. And where I also spoke about Lee Kuan Yew. So I want to speak about Lee Kuan Yew. I don't think many people know him outside of Asia. He's the founder of Singapore and literally built it from a swamp to being a metropolis from the 1960s to he passed away in 2015. But I really encourage all of you to go and see his videos. So one of the most important things he brought was we should have iron leadership. It's very important in the multipolar time that we are living in. He also created a system where everything is highly economically aligned. Singapore today is known the champion of its finances because of economically aligned incentives that was created into the birth of the country. We talk about entrepreneurs, great entrepreneurs, Zuckerberg and lot many, but I think Lee Kuan Yew is one of the biggest entrepreneurs of all times. He also created an attitude of deep tech hardworking, where it's very often that we see in deep tech and in Bangalore and high tech jobs, people get a bit lazy. That also needs to be counteracted, and people also get lazy in a different way, where they want to continue doing the same easy job that they have been doing. Both of this is very important for a country, for a nation, for an economy, or a project to grow. And finally, there's this flavor of mission greater than money, which only comes from a sense of ownership. I don't believe any entrepreneur today has a sense of ownership for their company as much as Lee Kuan Yew had for his nation. This is where also nations have widely been successful. Their currencies have a widely large market cap because of this sense of ownership. Of course, on the decentralized side, we change the nature of this ownership. Everyone who owns the token still is a part of that economy. But we have to go beyond this and create systems where the creators are the token owners. The problem with crypto is people stop at token. They buy token, they talk about token, you should buy Bitcoin, you should buy Ethereum, you should buy Solana. But then 99% of those people don't go and build those things. Whereas in countries, people who had a high ownership went and did things. It was a Manhattan Project, the greatest scientist who felt a part of America, who created those really powerful weapons that US even today enjoys using and flaunting its power. But the builders of America in 1800s had a sense of ownership to the country, which is why the country is what it is today. If we bring this doer attitude in crypto, our tokens are going to go bigger than nation economies in the next 50 years. Towards this, one of the big bold attempts, let's talk about Moonbase. One of the subnets who are doing this, we are highly supporting them. The part about Moonbase is Elon talks about Mars and it's great. We seriously support him. But we believe the first pilot to multi-planetary sustainable humanity is actually doing the pilot on Moon. It takes only 3 days to go on Moon, while Mars is taking 3 months. Less time, less fuel, more accessible in front of our eyes. Countries fail to bring back their astronauts from space station in time. What if something wrong happens on the Moon? It needs to be close. If something happens on Mars, forget it. I think humanity is just going to dump or ditch that project. So Moon is very important, very strategically. We have water, we have soil, which is Moon's own regolith. I think if we can just start an ecosystem where plants can start growing using that solar and using the nutrients on that moon soil, we have the first level of sustainable economies. We are seeing if there's a solution where we can send robots. It's very easy to get a Tesla Optimus or some dog robots, send them on the next Starship there. They're not humans, they don't have the problem of radiation or carrying so much food, or they can be there all the time running by AI, and they can start creating the economy, creating a base before humans go. And this is one of the big places where actually AI will prove to become a very big thing, where it is actually becoming the foundation of entire economy on moon or Mars even before humans reach them. That's the power of AI. We're going to talk more about that. So towards this, we have created subnets. Any AI application, you can create a subnet. A subnet can do anything. It can do space, it can do healthcare. Of course, in finance, robots are going to be way stronger, or agents we call them. Their ability to be 24/7 looking at 24 media outlets and focusing on their token or on their money to grow it is going to be not comparable to what humans have. But finally, we have to start seeing how these robots are actually going to add more value beyond the software layer. We are seeing some planetary scale adoptions. There is a lot of robo taxis coming up. You can imagine the whole car as a robot. Right now, the hardware is integrated. And the same, it will start happening when we see a lot of factory workers being these robots, could be in difficult condition, could be working with more accuracy and less cost than a human. That's where I think all factories are going to start having humans. And we are going to see that tipping point in AI. We are in a weird state with respect to where are we headed. I always say World War III is the baseline, one way or another. Countries, they're acting very weirdly, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Iran, now US coming in. There was an India, Pakistan, US coming in. Too much interference is good or bad, sometimes can have snowball effects. In all of this, there is an old world order which is clearly ending. The West and the US, which decided everything for everyone, which was also good, was like the police on the planet, now is getting weaker. And there are these, instead of having one police which controls the planet, we now have Asia, we now have Middle East, we have Russia, lot of strong economies, China including. And this is going to create some chaos. The immediate effects of this will change the equation of money, oil, energy, compute, and all of us, we have to start by solving these problems. So I really encourage all of you as Lee Kuan Yew, as entrepreneurs, to understand this and solve it. As GPUNet, we saw the shortage of compute in India. It was massive in 2022 and we solved it. So at least there's no shortage of compute in India today. And now we are doing this at a planetary scale. But things are going to grow, and this is somewhere where we have to really start working, and I encourage all of you to build your subnet to solve a problem. 2008 financial crisis was a problem where very good entrepreneurs like you, me, smart people understood that money is just being used to print and to give away for these bigger banks who go and do shady shit in backend. This is why we came up with Bitcoin. We all together, it was Satoshi, but together we adopted Bitcoin, which is a money where the backend is shared, where it's transparent, where all of us are actually validating it, running the whole software. And this has proven to be very good. In 100 trillion of all the currencies in circulation, more than 200 countries, I think Bitcoin circulation is now more than, I think it's at the top 15 level, surely. Bitcoin is 2 trillion. And it's bound to grow to 20 trillion because we are entering a multipolar economy, and Bitcoin will become more and more useful towards this. The price will grow, all of the numbers. Even with Iran war, Bitcoin only dipped like 2,000 below 100,000, and now it's already almost 8,000 above 100,000. So it shows the confidence that people have in this as a global user-owned economy. We have built GPUNet in the exact same ethos as Bitcoin. All of our tokens are user owned. Team ourselves have bought back from the investors, and more than 90% of it is allocated for the project to exist, and for all the builders on the subnet, they will earn these tokens. So one of the biggest advices I give to all the entrepreneurs out here is to solve a problem and do not create a product. So I always say, you can start with a simple Excel sheet and even WhatsApp. And once you have your users, you can rapidly prototype into a website or an app. And this is very important because now, if you are actually solving a real problem, users who are willing to pay for what you're doing, they might not care if you have a website or social media or good looking app, right? That's how big the problem should be. Okay? They will want to trust you, and you do show them with examples that you have these other people whom you have helped. Videos work out the best. And once you give them the real proofs, users and revenue will start flowing to you. You can always invest it into building products or more good looking marketing activities, whatever you want. But this real problem is very important to identify. Okay? It also takes a lot of time. Even the founders of YouTube at one point, they were depressed. They had very less than, I think, only 40 videos on the whole platform, and there was barely any activity in 2000s. But 20 years later, today, YouTube is doing 200 billion minutes every day. Okay, so the moral of the story is we as humans overestimate what we will achieve in year one, always. But we always underestimate what we can achieve in year 10. Very few of us have the conviction, the stamina, and the focus to build something on a 10-year horizon. And we have to do that. When you do this, you basically start moving towards a planetary scale fit. What it means that protocols who are successful actually have a PMF, they have a product market fit. Duolingo has a product market. Yeah, you want to learn a new language, you use Duolingo app. But Google in the 1990s, it had a PSF. It had a search engine that everybody wanted to use on the planet. We today in AI into crypto are sure that the combination of these two economically aligned incentives and the power of doing actions on its own will lead us to a planetary scale fit. We do not know exactly how. But just like Bitcoin is a planetary scale fit, it is solving the problem of government owned money, which is now user owned. QSGT is kind of PMF, PSF. Ethereum had a PMF 10 years ago when it was the programmable money. Now there are many. But when you combine this, your attitude to put something for 10 years with a planetary scale fit, you will start visualizing the big number on your screens, quadrillion. Quadrillion today looks like a big number. I mean, heck, as startups, even getting millions of revenue is a big number. But this is the long-term building that we have to build. USA in the 1800s, it was difficult to imagine millions or billions. It is today doing many, many trillions. The same way, if we can create this economy where a lot of us entrepreneurs are economically aligned, have the stamina, vision, and ownership towards one goal, then we can hit that number, quadrillion. It's not far away. Even when we were younger, even small amounts, we used to think my first job, if I get whatever X amount, maybe $1,000, that's a big deal. But 10 years later in your career, you will feel $1,000 is nothing. So this is always true. Numbers are always changing for humanity. What matters is the action. Action is painful to take yourself, and especially when you want to coordinate 100 people doing the same action, it takes an iron-like leadership, something you can learn from Lee Kuan Yew. But trust me, if humans work in this way, everything, and I say everything, is possible. That is a takeaway of today's video for all of us. And I really encourage, we have built GPUNet in this direction, AI into crypto, into an economically aligned platform that many entrepreneurs across the planet can action into, and we must believe into that to start building that now for the next 10 years horizon. And everything, token price, valuation, even us going to moon is possible, will happen in the coming years. Thank you and have a great day.